10 seconds. What's going on, everybody? We are live on another Thursday night episode of the Live Well. We appreciate y'all stopping by. We got our folks on YouTube. We got Facebook going, or not Facebook, TikTok going. We don't have Facebook for the evening show. I forgot that. We don't do that on the evening show. So y'all welcome in. Listen, this is going to be a good show. And if you've got any questions, you need to make sure you have them keyed up and in the box because we got some great guests tonight. We've got Lipsticker Fishing himself, Mr. Kevin Underwood, right here on my left. We've got Andrew Blair with Tactical Fishing Company in the queue. We got Father Time back. My first time seeing him since he's been back, Kevin. Man, I'm so glad to see you back. I know you've persevered through some stuff. I'm glad to be able to do the show with you, and it's going to be another great show. So
it is.
Yeah,
it is.
I'm excited for it. I'm excited to get going. I told the guys before we started, I'm just going to sit back and read comments because there should be enough questions for these two guys, the guests we have, that we shouldn't really have to do anything but sit back and read questions and laugh and cut up and stuff. So anyway, let's knock out our sponsors real quick, get them started. First up, Alex, get back over there to that because I kind of threw it off a minute. First up, we got Groove Fishing. Listen, they're coming back to the market. They made tackle, boxes, things like that. They're getting back in the market. We're proud to have them on the Live Well. We're proud to have them part of Fish North Georgia, FNGO. Just keep your eye out because I know Danny's going to be putting some more stuff out for Groove. They've got some really innovative products that are just pretty neat. If you want to come up here to the shop, put your hands on a couple of the boxes, get to know them a little bit better, I know it'll be awesome. Check them out also on groovefishing.com. Then we got Sonar Pros. Listen, we're buying these expensive electronics. We're buying these expensive boats, things like that. If you want to get it done where the pros have it done at Sonar Pros. Call Trent and the guys down there at 770-530-4505. Don't mess around with your electronics installs. I see comments all the time on social media about I can't get it to do this, I can't get it to do that. That's probably because of an installation error, a lot of user error, stuff like that. Get with Trent and the guys down there, get taken care of. And then we got Atlanta Safe House. And I know Jake, and I know he's in TikTok. I think I saw him on TikTok a minute ago. Great company. Over 30 years, they've been the provider for safes in the metro Atlanta area. I think Tennessee, Kentucky, Alabama. They have got an amazing facility in Ackworth. Y'all need to go check out the facility. If you're looking for a safe, we've all got those things like money, I won't say the G word. Anything,
pews.
Yeah, pews. Anything you want to keep safe, you need to go check them out. They've got an awesome facility down there. If you got anything like that, get with Atlanta Safe House at atlantasafehouse.com. They will get you taken care of. Proud to have them on board as well. And then we got Lipsticker Fishing. I ought to make him do his own intro. I'm just kidding. Listen, one of the best guide on Lake Lanier, Kevin Underwood, is in the house with us tonight. If you need to get on a boat with, I'm telling you, it will change your mindset about bass fishing, especially for the spotted bass. I've never seen stuff like that. It was awesome to go on the boat with him when I did. Give him a call or text 678-459-8419 or Kevin at lipstickerfishing.com. And if y'all are not subscribed to the Patreon, you need to be. The Juice is given out weekly show.
Yeah, try to do it weekly.
Yep, and it is. I'm telling you, I had it back when he first started it, And I was super surprised at what he was giving away. If I fish Lanier as regular as most of the folks that watch the show do, I would definitely be on that Patreon. So check it out at patreon.com/lipstickerfishing.
Yesterday was an interesting one.
Was it?
Oh yeah.
Oh, uh-oh. See, he's got, and once you subscribe, you can get the old episodes,
Yeah,
right?
go back and watch.
So listen, you're not just getting what happened from the day you subscribe on, you're getting all the backlog stuff too. Yep. So you're getting a wealth of knowledge for what I think, if I did the math right, it basically works out to being the cost of a guide trip spread out over a year almost. It's pretty cheap. That's what I'm saying. It's fairly cheap investment. I mean, we spend way more money on other stuff, and you're gonna get a lot of knowledge out of it. I was really impressed. Next up, we got Evolve rod sleeves. Listen, protect your investment. Get you an Evolve rod sleeve. They float. They resist hook snags. They've got all the protections like the rubber tip. They got the rubber collar. They've got the lanyard that goes around the handle. It's, again, it was one of the best investments I made when I had the Chinese finger trap deals, and I spent 30 minutes every time I went fishing just untangling rods.
Having to snip your hooks out of them.
I mean, it was just stupid. I mean, I'd take a pocket knife and cut the dang stuff open just to get my hooks out. So get you an Evolve rod sleeve. You won't regret it at all. Check them out at evolvefishing.com. Then we got the Money Saver Lure Retriever. We spend money on expensive baits, and I know I'm guilty of buying the cheap stuff in the past, and you send it down, you don't get your lure back, you lose the cheap lure knocker. Get the Money Saver Lure Retriever. It goes down like a missile, knocks your bait loose, you get your expensive bait back, and you live a happier life. So make sure you check those out. They got them here in the shop. I think he's still got some more here in the shop. Check them out here, get you one and get it started. Next, we got Bill Payne, the local legend. Got more knowledge in one finger than I'll have in my entire body when it comes to fishing. I was really impressed when I got to meet him. He guides on Altoona. He does largemouth spotted bass. He does smallmouth bass, smallmouth on request, I think, at certain times of the year. Give him a call, 706-280-2305. Get a trip booked with him. Then we got Brooks Anderson Fishing. Listen, Brooks is an awesome dude, man. He's a really awesome dude. Is a hammer on Lake Lanier, puts out some great content on all of his social media. If you've got somebody young that's wanting to get into fishing, high school, college age kid, get them on the boat with Brooks. He caters to that group. He takes anybody fishing. I think Doc Holliday goes fishing with, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he goes with them quite a bit.
Yeah. And I mean, they catch them. He absolutely, knocks it out of the park with that stuff. Y'all get in touch with Brooks Anderson. Check him out on social media. He's a good one to watch as well. Then we've got Big League Charters, Mr. Robert Blowski. I didn't see where he was sitting at today, but yesterday he was sitting in 12th on the NPFL.
Yeah, he had big fish too.
Yeah, and he had big fish. That's right. He was making, I think he was only getting to fish a couple of hours of the run he was making. Anyway, unreal. He's got a guide business, Big League Charters up there in Knoxville, Tennessee. Give him a call, 239-877-6479 or www.robertblowski.com. He's on Tellico, Fort Loudon, Watts Bar, and Chickamauga. I know he does crappie tournament or crappie guided trips, and he'll do sonar setups on your boat as well. So give him a call if you want to get something like that set up in that area. I think I want to go fish chick, so I'll probably get with Rob to do a trip up there just because I don't have any experience fishing chick yet. So I definitely want to check that out. Then we got Fishers of Hope. Their mission is to glorify God, be servants of his word, and to bring those in need to peace and hope that only he can bring. They do fishing tournaments to benefit people in need, and they've got one coming up. I believe it's the 19th up at, Notley. Yes, Notley. Lake Notley. So get with Tony and them. You can find them at Fishers of Hope Ministry at gmail.com. They've got Facebook. I think they've got Instagram. They're all over social media. Get with them. Get signed up for these tournaments because it benefits everybody. That they do things to help benefit people. It's not just about going out there and fishing for no cause. They're doing the good stuff that we need to see more of in bass fishing. I really appreciate Tony and for doing that and getting that stuff set up. It means a lot, folks. And then we got, if you want to. Oh, yep. Thank you, Alex. Yeah, listen, call me out. You can say it loud. I don't mind getting embarrassed. I've done it once before. Right behind me, we've got Turner Tire in Jasper, Georgia. If you need tires, wheels, and alignment, make sure you get with those guys. I swear, I don't know why that one sneaks up on me every time it does. Give them a call, 706-253-3339, and get that stuff taken care of. Their local company, take care of your local folks. And they're anglers and stuff just like us. They do boat tires and or trailer tires for your boat, stuff like that. So they will take care of you. Sorry about that, guys. Barack, sorry about that. Every time it sneaks up on me. And if you want to advertise here, please get with Danny at fngo.com. He would like to nothing more than get your business out in front of our loyal fans. And I'm telling you, it makes a difference. I think everybody that sponsors sees an increase a little bit from this show, which is all you great folks out there in YouTube TikTok land. So we appreciate that. But get with Danny at fngo.com, and we'll see what we can do for you there to get your business out there. I think that's all of them.
That's it.
Guys, list is getting longer. We're going to break
It
it up into more edible chunks, man. That's a lot of talking for these things. Let's see who we got in the comments. TikTok, if y'all got any, comments or whatever tonight, we've got, like I said, we've got Andrew Blair sitting kind of in the queue still. We've got Kevin Underwood here, and we're going to talk baits and we're going to talk fishing during this time of the year. And we want to hear any of the questions you got. We got any questions in here so far? Walton, what's going on? Lee, Tony Watkins, what's up, brother? Steven Sturgeon, what's going on?
You better say hi to your wife.
Oh, there she is. I see her now. So glad to see him back. Yep, that's talking about you, Kevin. She's glad to see you back.
Yeah.
Grant, what's going on? Nathan, Fardog, what's going on? I ain't seen Fardog in a little bit.
Heck yeah, Grant. Love to hear it.
Yeah, buddy. Awesome. All right. Well, let's bring Andrew in real quick. We're gonna get cracking here real quick because I've got a table full of baits, and I want to give everybody an opportunity to talk about. Because look, Andrew, I'm not gonna lie, buddy. I know a few of them by name. I don't have all of them in my arsenal. Alex walks in here and breaks out a doggone just a ton of baits. He's got a good representation sitting here of your lineup. And if we're missing anything, it's his fault. But we appreciate you stopping by. And before we get going too far into it, I'm going to throw up a softball question just because it's easy. For folks that don't know you, tell us a little bit about you and your company and what it is that you do in the fishing industry.
So, Manager Blair. So I'm currently in South Carolina. I own Tactical Fishing Company. That's the products you guys are going to see tonight. But retired Army, all the stuff up here. I do a lot of social media content for Jackson Kayak Fishing. I'm a Jackson's regional team. And, I grew up my whole life fishing essentially, right? And the soft plastics really started coming into full during the COVID time, like most bait makers. So fast forward a few years from COVID, we've gotten a knack for designing molds. All of our molds are custom, and we just have fun, fish, make funny content. And the brand itself was built on making stuff that we fish, right? And we'll talk about it later, but I am a very fast power fisherman. I don't do a lot of deep water fishing, and that's why we have Alex and a few other guys now helping us. But this all started with just fishing young, and you make a bait and someone catches a lure on it, and then it skyrockets from there. So that's why we're here today doing what we're doing.
Heck yeah. And you're also a military veteran. I don't know if you mentioned that.
Army? Yeah, Army retired. Yeah, I got medically retired at 12 years. So
thank you for your service. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
I try to focus on when I'm following folks on social media, whether it be bait makers or content creators or whatever, I go towards veterans, I guess, because I'm a veteran myself, but I go towards the veteran guys, and the stuff you do is really good. I try to emulate you a lot. I hadn't told you that before. Emulate your content creation, stuff like that. I watch what you do. I keep a pretty good eye on how you spread it out across social media.
Feel free to shoot me a message, man. Like Alex will tell you, I'm all about sharing this. I'm not gatekeeping. This industry will only get better if we don't gatekeep it. Right.
That's right.
Now, obviously, with our designs and stuff, we're going to gatekeep. But
yeah,
with the content and the connections that you build, everybody can grow from one another, and fishing will be better because of it. Right.
That's right.
So reach out, anybody in chat. I know a few people in there. I don't see the comments yet, but I know Walt and a few others. So. Right.
We got Steve Billington in here too.
Yeah. Steve.
Did you see what Steve wrote? Have you heard about our Lord and Savior, the MRE? Listen, I found the MRE. Alex talked about it. It was last year you were talking about. Anyway, I finally got some at the Noe show, and I put it on the strutter. And I know you've seen the video of me catch. I mean, it was 6.5 pounder. It was an unreal pre-spawn using the MRE. And I'm a fan for life now. It's one of those baits once you use it, it changes, how you feel about particular trailers in general. And it has absolutely been a dang good bait for me. So I really enjoy the bait. And I can't think of anything bad to say about it. That's for dang sure. That is for dang sure. It's a good bait. I mean, it's on my weed whacker. It's on my strutters. It's on the chat. If I use a jackhammer, it goes on jackhammer now instead of a fluke. I mean, I'll still throw a fluke, I guess, but
it is the bladed jig trailer.
It 100% is. It's my favorite. So
there's a time and place. There's a time and place for everyone. We'll get nerdy about it later on if you guys want to
Oh, yeah.
really go into it. But yeah, I'm
Absolutely.
sure there's a time and a place on how fish are reacting, your cadence that you're fishing it, and that might
Right.
be just a weird mistake that turned out
Oh, yeah.
right.
Well, and that's funny to hear. There's a weird mistake that turned out right. That's
Yep. It's a mistake
So-
bait. It is a mistake
mistake bait.
design.
Well, I mean, you're in good company because there's been a lot of bait companies that have made mistakes that are now the best-selling baits out there. I think Zoom's got one.
Zoom green pumpkin.
Exactly, and
Yeah.
that's my color, green pumpkin. So there's nothing wrong with that. So, all right, well, let's. If we got anybody asking, everybody's praising the stuff. If we got any questions, if Far Dog, if you need anyone in Oklahoma for MRE, I work with everyone from Berkeley to Blakemore. So there you go. And I think it's his Far Dog.
kid,
Correct me
yeah.
if I'm wrong. Your son's won a pretty good tournament here recently.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember which
It's like a
tournament.
high school championship.
High school championship or something. It was pretty impressive, or college championship or something. It was something along those lines. Pretty impressive. So yeah. And then we've got Kevin Underwood sitting next to us here. I don't want to leave him out. We got some. He brought some baits in earlier. If you guys don't know, Kevin makes some dang good baits. I got some packs of the flukes the other day, and you need to check them out because FNGO now has stock in. They've got stock holding here with lipsticker fishing baits, and tell us about those.
I just got some drop shot worms and some fluke style baits. Actually, my little fluke. I don't know if one of you did either one of y'all throw underspin with me.
Mm-hmm.
We did, but it was
Did you, Alex?
Mm-hmm.
So I cut my mold a certain way for my fluke style bait to where it'll run on the back of an underspin a little better.
Yeah.
So
I think, you and I were outside that one spot where you threw down that mega school and caught big fish out of that mega school with the underspin. I want to say it was underspin. I'm almost positive it was.
But I like to fish them fast.
Yeah.
Yep, I like to fish them fast.
I'm going to warn you guys. I'm going to tell you right now. I come from West Georgia, East Alabama, where you can crawl your bait. I had never fished herring fishery. I had fished it, but never in this capacity, right? And he tells me, he's like, throw it out there. And as soon as you get down there to them, you start reeling it. Okay, I'll reel it. He's like, reel it faster. I'm pretty sure he would have kicked me off the front of the boat if I didn't reel it any. I was like, I can't reel any faster, Kevin. I can't.
You got to get some people excited sometimes.
Yeah, I mean,
hey, wind it, dude.
he's not joking.
Yeah.
If you get on the boat with lipstick or Kevin Underwood, you better reel it faster when he tells you to reel it faster.
I saw you got to burn the bearings out of it.
I mean, I'm talking like, I was like, I don't know if my arm will go any faster with this reel. I don't think it's going to move any faster. But he wasn't wrong, because as soon as you started whipping it through there, the darn fish come out of nowhere and hammer on it. And I know Lanier folks know that, but it was and I know I've said it before, but it will change how you look at a fishery coming from somewhere that doesn't have herring to somewhere that does in the amount they have here. What they'll do and what they'll chase and how far they'll come from. And I know one of the fish you caught, we were in some deep timber and you were burning it through there. I think it was underspin that I got popped on. They hit it and let it go, but it was one of the times you told me to reel it faster too. So,
Yeah.
Thad Moody, what's going on, brother? Well, we'll just kick it off with both guys real quick, and we'll answer. However, how is your fishing right now? We're getting to that part of the year for me that I've not always hated, but I always thought it was difficult to fish. And I'm finally starting to my gears have changed over the last year about how I'm fishing, and figured something out over the weekend myself. But Andrew, how is your fishing going? Where you're at as far as the heat goes and what you're dealing with? Because I know you fish a little bit different style of water because you got a lot of pads, grasses, things like that we don't get to see down here.
Yeah, Santee. So Santee Cooper. It's a lot of people are having success slowing it down, right? Stick baits, dropping stuff on bottom. I fish extremely fast, and I'm a topwater guy, so my window is real short. Fish are still up shallow. Fish are chasing shad right now. For me, it's mainly finding. It's been really windy. I don't know how your weather's been there. I've seen it's pretty bad, but off wind pockets. Finding whatever cover you can, right? Because a lot of the reservoirs I fish, there's not a lot of structure on bottom. And I don't use a lot of graphs, to be honest. Alex will tell you, I rarely have a graph hooked up. I'm going off structure and what I see on the water more than anything. So for me, it's slow, but if I decide to slow it down, throw a big speed worm on bottom, drag a jig on bottom, we're still getting big bites. A lot of the
Right.
bigger 6 to 8 pound fish that are being caught and we're seeing caught are really slow on bottom. Got to leave it for 10, 15 seconds before that fish will come near it and pick it up. That's pretty much how our fisheries are. I fish really shallow reservoirs. I try to stay up shallow, fish cypress and pads and grass, right? Because that's what I like to do. So my bite is not as good as it was 2 months ago when you saw me catching all those big fish.
Right.
But they are being caught out deep. It's just a very slow bite, deep grass, under spins, throwing a big speed worm through grass deep. That's the bite right now. And they're still catching them, but it's a slow game right now out here.
And what's your deep? How deep are we talking when you say deep? I know everybody's got a different scenario here.
But
So
my deep here, and to be fair, for the people that don't know me, I just moved to South Carolina a year ago, right? I was in Maryland all up until then. I grew up in Maryland. Army brought me back to Maryland. So deep for me was, the 60-foot, 40-foot range, right? Fishing shelves and drop-offs and deep suspended structure. But now it is like 10 to 14 feet. And it is very shallow, but for those fish, it is deep, right? A lot of the fish that we're catching throughout the year are 2 to 4 feet of water.
right.
And the water here, especially the pad structure, is very different than the Potomac. I fish the Potomac a lot, and the pads here, they're big pads, right? But they have really skinny, long stalks, so the fish can still navigate really well. You can still throw bladed jigs in the pads. Punching is a little too aggressive unless you're fishing the bank lines where they have those big hangover sections of grass. But it is that 10 to 14 foot. That's the deep, at least for me, where I go out to, where I can at least visibly see the grass, right? Because again, I don't scope or any tools like that I'm using yet.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, that, like I said, it's all relative because, I mean, where I fish a lot is, 12 to 14 is the deepest part of that lake, really. So I'm just asking that because I know we get over here to Lanier, or if I go to Wedowee or something like that, we're talking, you're fishing 40 feet, 30 and 40 feet regular, you're getting at 80 foot where you're getting deep at. And I know Kevin's got probably, you've been catching them all different sorts of ways because he broke out a minute ago. He broke out some baits a minute ago that I'm excited to see here in a minute because that stuff gets me excited. Even though I'm not any good with the flutter spoon yet, that's one of those ones I'm like, a fish that bites a flutter spoon. I know it's got to be one of.
Oh, I froze up. I don't know if it's him or me. Oh no, they lost power. I can't see chat either. All right, so Alex just texted me if we're still live. Let me try to get on this chat, see if I can see. All right, there we go. All right, can you all still see me? We'll try to hold it down for a little bit until they get back. Okay, you can see Thad. Cool. Yeah, they lost power, everybody. And I'm in the chat now, so it's just you and I. It's just us. We've taken over. Now, for those of you that I haven't met yet, though, it's there's Chris. Power went out. Yeah, he's texting in there. Where y'all from? Just so I can get to know you guys. I know Thad. I know Steve. I know Ryan. Hey, man, how's it going? How you feeling? Gotta hold it down for them while they get things. Make any worms? Yeah, Jim. We So this is our 7-inch speed worm, the private, right? And then the swagger stick is our stick bait, and yes, they are salted accordingly. But South Carolina, Kevin, hey, another South Carolina. And then this is our stick bait, the swagger. They are salted, a little bit different. We can go into these in a little bit, but yeah, this is our stick. We don't have any shaky head worms or anything like that until later on. But again, we draw all these and we design them, so still going through that process. More about the SC Lakes. So we're gonna try to answer, and they're coming in quick. Tactical Fishing Company, Jeremiah. So I am near the Charleston area. I'm right outside Charleston. So I am 15 miles south of Santee Cooper, Lower Lake, Lake Moultrie. So I do a lot of my fishing on Marion and Moultrie, especially the kayak tournament stuff. I am a kayak angler specifically. I don't have a boat. But I do fish a lot of reservoirs and smaller bodies of water here. I like to explore pond hop, right? I do a lot of content for my personal, for Angel Blair Fishing, also for the bait brand. So I'm sure you guys know, to keep up with 6 Cents Powerhouse, I have to generate content. So I don't do a lot of tournaments. It's a lot of hunting for bigger fish on top water. Any buzz toads? So we do. So you guys are familiar with the Wee Whacker. Danny Brazalo and I are really good friends, and the tack toad, our 3.6-inch toad, was actually designed for the Wee, to slide right over the head here. Him and I sat down and drew this bait out. So my soft plastic frog is designed for the Wee Whacker 100%, and this is on the Patch Slapper Bushwhacker. And then on the M1, this is how I catch most of my fish recently, is the M1. So it is a smaller presentation toad, but that frog was specifically drawn by us in collaboration to put on a 4/0 weighted swim bait hook and swim that, fish it over pads and grass. That's my requirement of the bait. And then also fit the Wee Whacker 1 for 1. So if that answers your question, yes, that's our buzz toad right there. And Santee's here, fell in love with it. Bass Fishing Live, yeah. Santee is a powerhouse fishery. It is great. Lake Murray, on my bucket list. I haven't fished Murray since I moved here yet. Best time of year to fish Santee, I will say April. April, I got fishing with Platts in here. And a 2-day, 3-day stint, a 5-fish bag of almost 120 inches. Average fish weight 6 to 7 pounds, right? So, and that's fishing a very small section out of a kayak. So April is definitely a powerhouse time to hit Santee. What color blade? I'm a copper fan. I am a copper through and through. Copper is my color of choice. Unless they're chasing shad, I will go to a silver blade. Don't do a lot of night fishing. But copper just puts off a little bit different of a pitch when you're fishing it. I like the difference. Darian Moss, the pitch is different. Copper sounds different than a standard blade. We can put a video out showing that. Gator stories, a ton of them. I've caught probably 4 gators now, boated one of them on our hollow body frogs. We also specialize in designing hollow body frogs as well. So what about making a double-sided speed worm for a wacky? So I have a friend, Jake's Lure Joint, that specializes in a specific wacky worm, and him and I like to collaborate. He also designs his own molds. So he's also military. We do not like to overcross each other. We like to make sure we stay in a lane. But we're good. Best spots to fish on Blue Ridge. No, I haven't fished Blue Ridge yet. I'm trying to keep up with the chat, guys. I saw Thad said show the MRE. We'll show you the minnow ready to eat, the bait we were talking about. The MRE is a mistake bait. Like I said, this is our hybrid kind of fluke paddle tail. You can see the ridges there. And this was originally designed to be a Ned rig bait for the Potomac. And what we wanted was, and I don't know if people know this or have experienced it, but stunted claw crawfish generally were getting eaten before, living like live, fully appendage craws. And probably because, right, they can't defend themselves as much. So we want to design a minnow that can go on a Ned rig or any mushroom jig. And then ended up being a better chatterbait trailer. And we'll show that when they kick back on. But big 10-inch worms, I do not, but we have a lot of friends that do. I would probably, if I'm throwing that, right, I'd probably put it on a big shaky head and drop it down ledges, or I'd throw it on a Texas rig pin. That's just me. Basically recommend morning and night. It depends where you're at. That's a really hard question. Underspin, yeah. So that's how Thad throws it on an underspin. Thad Moody in here. I didn't bring underspins. Our POG, our paddle tail. This is a Battle Baits underspin. This is what Alex likes to throw on the underspin. But the MRE is a great underspin bait. This is a screw lock. Let's take this one off for now. That's how Thad Moody and a few others throw it, is on the underspin. And those tails, they're really small kick, right? But that's why we like throwing it on a chatterbait. It really starts to kickstart those dual tails. The bottom one sways out, and the top one has a tighter wag. Nighttime black trick, really. Yeah, nighttime, I don't evening fish at all. Morning, I'm going speed worm on top water. Or, I like to throw spinner baits early as well. Andy, the MRE is a floating blend. I want those tails to stand up. So I do not salt them. The only plastic I salt in my lineup is my stick bait. So yeah, this is the MRE on a jackhammer. This is a personal one. It was crushed in the box, but this is our Morning Dawn right here. So that's how it looks on there. The Rizzard. Oh man. So the Rizzard, a lot of our stuff is specializing in snakehead stuff too, right? It's kind of how we got started with the frogs. This is the Rizzard. It is a walking frog, and the blade is for flash. We found that the bass and snakehead in the Maryland, Virginia area love a little flash to it, but it is a Kevlar tied front, prevents you from having to do a loop knot, helps it walk. VMC hooks, we externally weight those for a little bigger hook gap, and this little lizard, mouse, whatever you want to call it here, we use these a lot. Grass pads, stuff like that for bass and snakehead. It's our first design we had as a frog, right? I'll show you the dragon pop. Our first design was our popper, very small 2.2-inch popper. And we like micro size because the snakehead have smaller mouths, and we also smallmouth fish. So the popper, the dragon pop, was our first frog design. And then the non-bladed version of the Rizzard, we called it the Wagon Dragon Junior. So we revamped it. We added a blade and some other things. Crazy shad. Lanier is a bucket list fishery for me as well. Makes me spend my Grant. So if you guys are interested in checking it out, tacticalfishingco.com, use the code NEW20. It gives you 20% off. I like doing these to kind of talk, nerd out about baits and stuff. Everything, like I said, we've all drawn this. Alex is saying you're still on, I guess, so run the show. Yeah, so all these baits, Thad, Steve Billington, Alex, they came onto the team this year to kind of help me because they all fish in different areas, right? And there's Tony. It was one of those things. I fish very shallow, fast, right? But we obviously need a product lineup to hit a Lanier or Mississippi or the Tennessee River or the Susquehanna, right? Because a lot of smallmouth fishermen. I'll type it. Let's see. Thad, if you want to do it for me so I can not have the chat mess up. Here comes the Hank George boys. Yeah, I want to come down. It's being planned, right? Alex and I have talked about it. I want to get back to fishing a little bit different. I've never caught a spot, first of all, smallmouth, largemouth. So go-to bait right now in the southern heat, the private, our speedworm, hands down. 90% of the content you see me putting out, if it's me fishing, whether it be my biggest platform's Instagram, right? Andrew Blair Fishing, Facebook as well, but the private. I have never appreciated a speed worm like I did until I moved here, right? And the Zoom speed worm is phenomenal, but it didn't have enough action. So we wanted to bring back kind of a classic dragon tail. It has a really different sway, right? It rolls really nicely. If you put it on a 1/4 ounce or 1/8 ounce tungsten pegged, it twirls on the way down. It is float, so it sends up. Current will move that tail. That is my go-to right now if it is not a frog in the morning. You can fish them over grass pads, drop them on bottom. I punch them. So this is cut a little bit of the segment to the first egg sac, and I punch this bait. It's my go-to, hands down. Yeah, I know, Ben. It's on the list. I really need to. Alex and I were going to plan a trip. I was stationed in Augusta, right near Clarks Hill, but at the time I didn't have the free time to really explore some of the some of the fisheries out there. So, oh, I'd love to, Jim. Yeah, we were supposed to fish the KBF National Championship on Gunnersville. I don't know if we're going to do that anymore, but our team, all of us qualified in some way or shape or form. We were going to do that. Speedworm tips or tricks. So for me, I like to fish them like a paddle tail, right? Any way I'd fish a paddle tail around grass or pads, fishing the pad edges, swimming them through the water column. When I bring them over grass or pads, drop them on the edges, right? Especially if they're weighted, you're going to get the action of them falling. A lot of the times those fish will see the stalks moving of your pads, and that's what they're reacting to. They're seeing the pad stalks separate, right? And they're going to follow it down. You see that bait drop down and they eat it. For us, we're throwing them on the base of cypress knees, letting them sit. Again, the current will move the tail and give them that little action. You don't have to move the bait. It will just sit there and they'll pick it up. Speedworm, give them time to eat it though, right? A lot of times the fish won't turn the bait in their mouth. Give them a little bit of time. I had to learn that. So, oh no, someone hit a pole and knocked it out. Yeah, all of us qualified. No, that's my fish. Oh, awesome, Ben. Yeah, we'll definitely do that. What's the water clarity, Santee? It depends what section, but it's pretty clear. It is extremely clear. Especially you'll find a lot of fisheries that have high amounts of subaquatic vegetation. That vegetation is going to filter impurities out of the water. It's going to make it really clear. So a lot of the areas I fish are very, very gin clear. There are some sections that are muddy, but generally it's pretty tannic, but it is clear. Combat craw. So the craw is our 3.5-inch craw that we drew. Very traditional kicking leg style craw. And this is her right here. And I went with 3.5. These are personal ones, so ignore the flashing on them. But we went with the 3.5 because I am a big friend of Flint at Battle Baits, and we wanted it to fit the brush bomb perfectly, or the 501 jig from Brazalo. So no trimming. This is our jig trailer of choice for smaller finesse style jigs, right? If you're going to go to a size 4 hook or bigger, that's where the bomber bug comes in. This is a full 1/2 ounce hook, and the bomber bug is not a kicking leg style bug. I did not want it to kick. I don't know if a lot of you experience it, but sometimes the bite stagnates and they don't want the action. They just want a big presentation with appendages. The bug was my first plastic I ever drew myself. I'm a creature bait guy through and through. This is the bug here, teardrop shape, and we do punch these, but this is, you know, my shaky head creature. This is what I drew it for, is a shaky head through and through. Smallmouth fish. Grant, so I haven't caught a smallmouth since I moved to South Carolina. There are some here in the Saluda. And Chris, if you're in here, it escapes me. But for me, no, I haven't. I'm going to try to explore, you know, here for them. But up in the Potomac, I was a speed guy. I would throw crawls, let current take them, drag them in the winter over broad. There we go. Okay, broad. Fish a jackhammer a lot, right? Fast, burn a jackhammer or a spinnerbait. I prefer to use a paddle tail if I'm dropping it. That's why there's a paddle on here. You can jig these. I don't know if you guys have ever jigged a jackhammer. Lift drop, right? The paddle tail does phenomenal with that on the drop. You get the action. Spinnerbaits, chatterbaits, craws Texas rigged, and that's why we're bringing out a 4.19 inch, and we're not doing 4.2 because everybody does a 4.2. A 419 version of the combat cross, so I can Texas rig and punch it. But that's how I go for smallmouth, or throw poppers or top water, smaller buzz baits like the Wee Whacker. The Wee Whacker here, this is the MRE on it. Call it the MR Wee is a joke, but yeah, that's how I catch them up there. I miss smallmouth a lot. I don't know if anybody is who here has not caught a smallmouth bass before. I'll ask that question. Steve, that is the same as mine. I never got to crack that 20 before I left. It was unfortunate, but we're gonna get back up there. Native does a kayak tournament, a no limit tournament on the Susquehanna this year. It'd be fun to fish that, but not in over 10 years. Haven't. Smallmouth I've never caught a spot, so I can't compare the two, but they're extremely aggressive. They're fun fish. A 14-inch smallie in current will give you a nice little fun fight. Never caught a smallie. Yeah, they're definitely, it's on the bucket. Yeah, smallmouth it's different, right? Because if you've never fished, and I don't know who here has never fished a fast current moving river, it is a little bit different with your presentations, right? So maybe if you're throwing a craw in a Texas rig, it's completely fine in a river, but instead of using that 1/8 ounce, you're gonna have to bump it up, right? Because that current will push it and get it stuck. Anything using the soup? No, so I don't use elastomer for any of my plastics. The process in which you produce a bait with elastomer, I don't want to expose my children in my home to it. My shop is in my garage for now, so we don't. Our plastic is durable. I adjust blends based on the bait, right? It's not all the same. So Assassin, it's really hard to beat a stick bait anywhere in the country. Whether you wacky rig it or, in my opinion, the Texas rig is king. Weightless or weighted. Texas rig, stick bait, go out. Yum dingers are different than a Yamamoto or anything like that. So Ben Holiday, no. But if you go to the Tactoad description and scroll to the bottom, we have linked Danny Brazalo from Brazalo Custom Lures, his Wee Whacker in there. So go to the Tactoad product description, scroll down, Brazalo's website, it links you right to the buzzbait. So Grant, honestly, I like, do you make a stick? Yeah, we make a stick bait. Sorry, I'm trying to keep up with the chat. With buzzbaits, man, I'll be completely honest. I like very small, light buzzbaits. And the reason I like that is because the lighter your bait is, the slower you can roll it. Now you can slow roll those big sea blade buzzbaits, but for me, I want to navigate very shallow pockets between grass and pads. And like I said, that is a majority of the fishing I do. So if water is up and it's basically 4 to 5 inches of water over that grass, you're going to have more luck throwing a smaller blade finesse buzzbait, finesse power fishing. That doesn't make sense, but a smaller blade is going to keep you from hanging up on that grass. Once you start moving to the little higher ones, you're going to have to pick up your reel quicker when it lands, and you got to get a little more power into it and burn it faster. You can't finesse those pockets. So I go smaller. I like to stay between 15 and 17 grams. Sounds weird that we weigh them, but we do. 17 grams is the most I'll go for buzzbait. And for Kevin MC, this is our swagger stick. This is our stick bait. It is salted, has the same fall rate as a very popular brand out there. We kind of tested it, but you can break this subsection down here. We drew it, so this is a 2.8-inch Ned, a wacky slot right here for your wacky ring. And if you do wacky it and you try it, pop it real quick up top. These ribs right here, they actually vibrate your line. You'll feel it in the line if you're fishing a lighter fluorocarbon. A few smallmouths there, Savannah River and Augusta. I need to come down, definitely. Greenville, welcome to town. Yeah, Captain Morgan. Fishing the DMV, it's a great podcast. I was in Frederick, Maryland, so that's right near the upper Potomac River. I did a lot of snakehead fishing and bass fishing down in the lower Potomac, and snakehead is the other side to our brand. We have a whole team dedicated to snakehead to help me test and design the hollow bodies. So he's a great podcast. He does a great job. Jake's Bait and Tackle is a great shop up there too. What am I throwing? What are you throwing the small buzzbait on? You mean for gear, rod, reel, tackle? So, rule of thumb for me, 99% of the time, the rod setup that will encompass everything for me is a 7'3", fast, medium heavy, or heavy. I kayak fish. I like to keep it in that 7'3" range. It still allows me to skip stuff. I can navigate under trees and things of that nature. Yeah, I saw the MPFLR. I was watching Corey Casey is a local angler. He's in the MPFL. I'm sure you guys have maybe heard of him. Local guide here on Santee, and I follow him. I've been tracking stuff down. It's pretty cool. They're on the fish. But yeah, 7.3 medium heavy fast is what I throw the smaller buzz bait on. If I'm near grass, I will go to a 7-foot heavy. 7-foot heavy for the Weed Whacker with the MRE, because this bait is lighter than if you're going to throw the Weed Whacker with the tack toad. And that is something you need to pay attention to. Like I said, you might change off your trailer bait. It's going to change the overall weight, as you guys know, of your bait. So this is a lot heavier. This is double the weight of the MRE. So reel speed, I go with an 8-to-1 gear ratio at all times. I like quick pickup. And just in case the fish misses or you need to throw it back, you get more feet per turn with a higher one. So, hey, I appreciate you, Grant. Yeah, I just started doing the YouTube again. Actually, fun fact, the tactical fishing started as YouTube, right? Started as YouTube. I was in the Army. I wanted to film my adventures. Started making plastics. So a lot of the older content you'll see on the channel is kayak stuff and bait making, right? And then it kind of evolved into what it is now. Standard molds, like most people, separated my content from tactical fishing and started doing my own adventure with, getting partnerships in the kayak industry and stuff like that. For me, tactical fishing, we focus Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram, right? My personal TikTok got banned recently. It was about 63,000 followers. That's gone. So I focus YouTube again. And so, a lot of this is tips, tricks, gear I recommend, a little bit of bait stuff in there. All the challenges we do are with my stuff. I don't throw anything unless it's a tactical fishing product, because small business, I got to get the content out there. So 50, 20-pound bags. That is insane. Don't remember, took a power out. It's still down. That is insane. Hey, Alex, I'll talk. I'll try to keep up with chat as much as I can. If there's any questions you guys have, Alex is in chat too. We can. I don't know a lot about deep water fishing, but I'm comfortable talking on the camera. I got some terminal tackle out here too. We brought a whole bunch of different stuff. Show y'all a new to me favorite technique is a swim jig. I never really fished a swim jig up north. This is a Battle Baits Pro Blue swim jig, and our POG in Pro Blue. And this has been a confidence bait down here, at least for me. I don't know if any of you fish a swim jig up shallow near vegetation, but man, I'm telling you, the swim jig bite is phenomenal. This bait right here has caught me probably about 40 to 50 fish. It's on its edge, but it's still catching. Emery swim jig. Hey, that's awesome, Jim. Yeah, I throw the POG on there. The swim jig, I'll do on my black and blue. I'll throw a black and blue MRE. So Ocean Lakes and Myrtle Beach. No, I have not. Assassin King. I have not. Person driving the car must be a fan. Oh, that's funny. Go to shaky head. So I've been through a lot of shaky heads. All right. And I do like the Brazalo SRS. And that's this guy right here. You can see I cut it off my line. This is what I caught my personal best with. So solid white, Kevin, we don't, but that's slated on the list, right? We have sight flash. We do not have solid white. We just discontinued our last monthly special. We do a monthly color run, and we're bringing in white full time. I've had enough requests for it. So just hang tight. I make a post. Follow TFC on Facebook. I'll post when it's there, but white is on the docket. But this is the SRS. What I really love is that subdued line tie in here. I like to rig actually our private on that and the bug, but the hooks are super stable. I don't like swing style front screw lock shaky heads. That's just me. But the SRS has been phenomenal from Brazalo. Like I said, I landed on these smaller 3/16. I caught an 8.6. And what we designed the private to basically do, if you can see that V taper there, I actually pop off the tail of my private and it makes a mag style shaky worm. And we're rigging up for y'all. But how we drew this bait out, if you can see the egg sac right there in the middle, that shaky head is going to sit right on that egg sac. So this is how I fish a shaky more than anything nowadays, is on our big speed worm, or on the bomber bug. Again, the bug was designed for a shaky. But my heart is with the 7-inch speed worm on a shaky head, and the Brazala one landed the fish. I had to basically break this thing to get it out of its mouth. So the Brazala SRS, the Battle Baits Battle Rattle is really good too. He's swapping hooks right now. I like to fish smaller business. If you notice a trend here, small business bait makers is what I prefer to do to help get their name out there. So Sight Flash. Yeah, I like Sight Flash. I needed to make white. It's on my board. It's been on my board for about 3 months now. And I'll be honest, the speedworm has kept me really busy. Alex knows tonight before the show, I ran 6 different colors of MREs trying to get them stocked up. Sight Flash, Golden Shiner, Meringue, the white and chartreuse. Those are our 3 top sellers. So I know. Chris is a big swagger on a shaky head guy. The swagger stick on a smaller shaky head. It does line up again where I like to trim a little bit off. It's 5.2-inch stick bait. But Chris all has big fish this year. So, ooh, Jim, I'm gonna have to find you on Facebook, or I don't even know how YouTube works. You can't message people on YouTube, but I'm all about trying the sleeper stuff that people make. It's more valuable to me throwing something that, it's not. I love big brand stuff. I have some jackhammers here, right? I got Alex went and posted this Spro, and I was like, oh man, I got to get some, throw MRE, this black and blue MRE on the, the puddle jumper or whatever it's called. I just got them because I like to collect, but I have some bigger name stuff, but friends with Tony. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I'll message Tony then. Looks strong on crazy team. Hey, that's me all day, dude. Steve, you know me. I am not a fluorocarbon person. Sounds weird, but I only tie fluorocarbon on for smallmouth. I'm braid all the time because I fish really quick. I'll drop. I don't know if anybody here throws a bigger swim bait, but like I said, this is our smaller one, and we got a Mac Daddy that we're testing right now. So 5.2-inch, 5.25 technically. That we're playing with, and you can check the video. It has crazy head roll, but this is going to be my baby for the next month or 2 while we throw it. So the private might get a little break for a little bit. Yeah, but this little tiny paddle tail here, it's 3.6. This is the POG. If you were ex-military, you probably know what that means, but person other than grunt, it's a different acronym, but that's it's been a great spinnerbait trailer and stuff for us. So it'll be Andrew. Oh no. All right, fishing with Farmer. It's just me. Alex, so someone has to let me know timing too, because to have the chat up, I gotta chill. Make round heads, football, stand up head, 5-aught hooks, wackies, 2-aught. Oh, that's awesome. Cool. That's cool. So we already said how we talked about where everybody was from, right? I'm in South Carolina, saw a lot of Georgia, some other South Carolina. We got anybody in the Midwest or up north in the Maryland or North region? You see how the fishing is up there. I know down here it's hot. We had a heat wave come through Maryland, but I don't know if you guys watched. The Potomac River was on fire this last tournament they had out there. Relate to see how the bite is everywhere else. Nebraska. What's your target species? Largemouth. And that's another thing too. What's your, if you don't bass fish, what's your favorite fish to catch? If it's not a largemouth or any sort of black bass. That's always a fun question. Iowa, Illinois, Nebraska. Cool. So we got some Midwest and out there. Yeah, besides bass, black bass, I'm thinking snakehead is probably my favorite. If you never caught a northern snakehead, they're insanely fun. Very delicious fish to eat too if you do harvest them, but they are delicious and hot and bites hit and miss and slow. What are some of the top techniques that you guys are using that, anywhere? I mean, we got a whole bunch of people in here. If you had to live and die by one technique right now, this time of year where you're at, what is it? Like I said, I already said mine was the speed worm is probably my go-to right now. It's kind of cool to see what you guys are throwing, at least for me, right? Whether this is what they was on the plan, but underspin MRE and Shaky Private. Yeah, you caught some good fish recently with them. Underspin or Nico. Frog bite. Yes. After my own heart. So this is our B2, our bigger skirted frog with tied nose. I am throwing this until they stop chewing it, and then I go speed worm and everything else. Swagger wacky Texas rig. What's your favorite bait to throw on a Texas rig? Though there's one, Chris Henry, Texas rig worm. Never thrown a flutter spoon in my life. Steven, man, pike. We fish for pike in Maryland. Obviously, they're not native there, but pike are so much fun. They hit like a truck. I miss it. Frog swagger private. And there's that's Chris. I should have known. Fish through the summer. Black trick worm. Sounds fun, man. I've never done a lot of deep late night fishing. It's about hitting different spots multiple times. Mendel, that's very similar to Santee because how the fish move. They'll move off trees and then keep recycling. Chris taught me that when I moved here. Finesse. Favorite thing about making and designing baits. I think I'm more addicted to designing and drawing out molds than I am making the plastics. I'll be 100% honest. And this is for anybody out there that is interested in starting a business. It's really fun in the beginning, right? And then when you're making black and blue or watermelon red over and over again, the fun kind of just still fun, but it dwindles a little bit. But when we get to sit down on paper and draw and get a test mold in, right? We just got the test mold, like I said, for the big swim bait the other day, and that's where it gets fun. So the design process of drawing it out, getting critique, watching people catch fish on it, man, that's what makes it worth it. It's a lot of fun. I still enjoy pouring plastic, right? But when you're running 40 to 50 bags of one color, it gets mundane sometimes, right? It's not the fun, cool new colors. Carolina rig. Patricia, what's your favorite bait to throw in a Carolina rig? I know a lot of people throw a lizard. We've been asked to design a lizard for a while. Bigger worms. When I was Carolina rigging, it was always a big craw. That was my favorite. I haven't thrown a Carolina rig in years, actually, now that I think about it. Lizard? Yeah, see, lizards are a staple. It's so hard to design a lizard when Zoom really has like the Mecca staple that everybody's confident with. So, Magnum trick, that's a good one. I need to start Carolina rigging again. That's a good topic. There's a lot of techniques we all default to. So drop a comment in the chat with a technique that you want to improve on. This is yes, we have, Chris. We have been catching reds and trout and flounder on it. A lot of the colors will you'll see some saltwater S colors for the POG. For our missile minnow, it is our straight tail fluke. We're putting these on jig heads for redfish and trout and flounder. This is our single tail minnow here. For those of you that shake a minnow, I don't live scope, so I don't know. But we V-tapered the belly so it rolls nice, has a hook hider in the back, and it is a single tail. It's 4.25 inches. So glide baits. All right, so yeah, we were talking right before I did that. The bait you want to get better at, the technique. We got glide baits. We got a jig. Yeah, so Mendel, that was a lot with what I struggled with. Throwing a jig. Horribly. Actually, went to film a YouTube video today, black and blue challenge. 4 different lures, black and blue only, had to catch fish. First fish of the day, jig to the face, tink, nothing. Missed the bite. I was treating it as if it was a soft plastic. The fish dropped the bait, I lost the fish. So jig is something I agree with. I got to work on it too. Any idea for a brush hog? So we did draw a brush hog. I actually gave my design to somebody else, right? I gave my design to somebody else. And now they produce it. So if you want to throw a really good brush hog, check out Jake's lure joint, his piglet. Jake is a good friend of mine, and yeah. What are y'all talking about, Chris? I see them in a chat. Yeah, let me know when it's what time you want me to cut it. If they can't get on it, I can end it whenever it's time. So it's jigs are a challenge for me in a kayak. Yeah, kayak fishing is a whole different. Who here? All right, so that's another one too. We talk about what we need to improve on, but first off, who is in a kayak and who fishes from the bank, and who fishes from a boat? That's that factors in a lot of these techniques and the gear you need with them, right? Because those kayak anglers are going to fish a little bit different. Oh, kayak, Steve. My pouring on camera days are done. Maybe we do it one day, but boat. PA14. There we go. So we got 2 kayaks, 2 boats. Kayak master race. I'm a kayak angler. Like I said, I fish out of a Jackson. So, oh, all right. So yeah, we can knock that out now. I don't know how they normally do it. How I would do the lives is the first time I see the answer, right? And we got Thad and a few others in here. Alex is in here. We can do the question of the night. We'll pick something random. But we're going to be giving away, we'll do a $50 gift card to tacticalfishingco.com that qualifies for free shipping. So if you do end up winning, right, you need to get in contact with Alex or myself. I just need your email, and it's an e-gift card. And you can use your 20% off with that too. That will get you about 10 to 12 bags of baits. Pretty good deal. I'll think about the question in a second while we go through chat, and then we can roll with it so we can get that knocked out. Big fish, marinas at night. Kayak, that's why the buzz toad works so well for me. Yeah. So I didn't fish a buzzbait till I moved here. Funny enough. That was, I frog fish for the most part. So, oh, that's cool. That's cool. You get to watch them come up and eat. That to me would just be wild, watching those fish come up and eat. Yeah, I don't do a lot of deeper. We have a lot of guys here. I do want to learn sonar, right? That's something I feel it's a tool I need to learn. Am I going to use it all the time? Probably not. But it is on my list. Alex and Steve and Chris and everybody in the chat know I'm on the fence about it. How's it going, Maddox? How are you? So yeah, I want to get better at offshore fishing, finding vegetation deep, learning how to fish it better. I think that's, if I'm going to be competitive down here, it's almost a must at this point. So, all right, let's try to come up. I'm going to dig back into stuff we talked about earlier in my head while you guys rattle off some more stuff. What's your favorite soft plastic color? That will keep you guys busy for a minute here. One soft plastic color to rule them all. What is it? And I'll smack talking group chat. You fish any Bassmaster? So no, Chris, I don't. So I'll kind of explain why. I like to just advertise the guys that fish for me. I don't have a lot of spare time. Got 3 young kids, do the bait business, my own content. So I do local club stuff, KVF monthlies, things like that. Next year we are going to fish the I have not Carolina rigged shadow wrap. That's hilarious. Next year, if they come to Santee, which I think Steve Owens mentioned in another podcast, we are going to fish that. So spots fighting. Oh, that's cool, man. Green pumpkin blue. See, there's a lot of green pumpkin blue, fire craw. Green pumpkin blue has grown on me heavily this year. Green pumpkin blue is almost what I throw exclusively. Black and blue for me. If I had to pick one color, green pumpkin goes with everything. So it would probably be green pumpkin, but black and blue is very close. Very close. To come. Hey, you're gonna have to come, man. You're gonna have to come. So, all right, question of the night. Steve, Chris, Thad, you can't answer it. Alex, you can't answer it. Question of the night. I said the name of this earlier once. What is the name of our smaller popper, our popping frog? I'll show it right here. Boom. Silver Punk, appreciate it. Oh, Silver Punk got it. The first one that I saw was Silver Punk. Alex, if you can, someone verify chat. I can't scroll. If I do, it's gonna mess it up. But this is the Dragon Pop, and then the Rizzard was the other one. The Rizzard, right here. So I was trying to think of something harder, and people could have gone on the website if they wanted to and looked for it really quick. If so, it's not impossible to know.